Welcome in, everyone. Give me a moment while I make sure everyone is getting in. All right, no problems. We'll get started in just a moment. Hi. Oh, I love seeing faces. It's so wonderful. Some familiar faces. Great. Welcome back. Excellent. Like I said, we'll get started in just a moment. So if you need to grab a glass of water or anything like that, go right ahead. I'm still letting in last few people. Thank everyone for joining us today. A few more stragglers. Here we go. Not even stragglers. It's a minute after. What am I saying? Excellent. All righty. Last few people. All right. Let's get this started. Why not? So you all should know me by now. I am Kate Zeitvogel. I am the Director of Customer Success, which pretty much means I do a lot of things. But I primarily make sure that any new clients that come on have no problems and any questions are answered quickly. So I want to go around real fast. I want to make sure that we introduce everyone. So real quickly, I'm going to toss it over to Dawn Penfold. Dawn Penfold is president of Meeting Jobs. Dawn, say hi and let us know. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Oh, my mother's stuffing dressing. That's it. And do you call it, or stuffing recipe, do you call it stuffing or dressing? That's always the big question.
That is a big question.
My mother's recipe, and that's my favorite thing.
Yum, yum. For me, it's stuffing, but my husband, it's dressing. So
if you stuff it or if it's on the side.
Ooh, there you go.
That's
I watch the Food Network.
Well, that's a perfect segue. So Kim Corhonen, she's with our managed accounts over in Cadre here. And Kim, what is your favorite dish?
Turkey skin.
Oh,
and carbs.
And carbs.
Anything.
Yeah. You and me both.
Yeah, leave that like the vegetables and the salad and that stuff. Just go for the good carbs.
Yum. Yum. I'm with you. All right, let's toss it over to Courtney. Courtney, welcome. Hello. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Hi, mine is mac and cheese, and Dawn, I call it stuffing.
Excellent. Aaron, what is your opinion, stuffing or dressing? And
I go with stuffing.
Okay.
And my favorite dish is pumpkin pie.
Ooh.
Well, my favorite dish is whipped cream with a side of pumpkin pie. I'll say that.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah. Yep.
It's awesome.
You got to dig through that whipped cream to find the pie.
Excuse me. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you everyone again for joining us. I'm really excited to see so many faces. I know that I've been on the road since we last all met together. I know that there are not a lot of cameras on at the moment, but if you can show of hands, how many people have been on the road recently? A couple, 2-3. That's good. Awesome. Fantastic. Some thumbs up. That's great. Excellent. Wonderful. Well, I know that for me, when I got back on the road, I was at IMEX, which was wonderful, by the way, for those that I saw there. Wonderful to meet you. Wonderful to see you. But I know that for me, it was a very different experience from IMEX 2019. Energy, fatigue, all of that going hand in hand. I want to know, those of you on the road, even those of you that are not on the road yet or have been recently, I should say, how are you finding it? Are you battling COVID fatigue, and what are you doing to combat it? I will open it up to whomever would like to participate.
I can talk.
Go for it.
So I just finished 8,500 people for a national convention. It was 6 days. There were events all over the place. So 3 hotels at Convention Center, plus on the street with celebrity and private events we did.
Oh, wow.
So it was awesome. Basically, what I found, since I'm in California, we've been more locked down than like half of the country. So for us, it was more that we had, and it was international convention too. So it was basically wear your mask for view only, but once you were kind of inside, everybody was sort of pulling them down, and it was business as usual. And people are done. They're like done. We just want to meet. We just want to party. We just want to play and get back to meetings. So that was really, really good. Here we're also preparing for a mini Comic-Con this week.
Oh,
So we have mini Comic-Con because as I said last time, our convention center was kind of held hostage for a year and a half. So we really couldn't do anything. And so they moved the big Comic-Con from July to a mini one. And that's coinciding with the opening of the Comic-Con Museum. So they're going to do free shuttles from Comic-Con starting Friday to the museum opening. So that should be really cool too, as kind of that. I just got done with a Lego event, and that was really good. So I did a huge national convention, then I did a big Lego event this weekend with kids, and it was on a state property. It was at the racetrack at the fairgrounds, and it was 3 days. And then I can tell you that went along with the Breeders' Cup, the horse racing and the Breeders' Cup that we have here in town. So, and it was also a military kind of thing. So because it was this, again, state-run facility, it's more a name only, sort of wear your face mask. But once people are inside, they're ditching them. They're just not, unless there's like a hand slap reprimand because it's a state or city facility. That's all we're seeing. But for the most part, people are just happy. They're happy to be out. They're happy to be back. They're happy to be out. We had celebrities that traveled. So we had Tesla giveaways. We had $1,000 prize giveaways every hour on the hour. We had Drew Brees that came in, the NFL player. He did the general session for opening, and then he was on the convention floor. We had Keith Urban. We blocked off 3 huge blocks, and we tented it all up and did a private event. That's Nicole Kidman's husband, Keith Urban, who plays guitar in country. And then the closing session, we had Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnast.
wow.
So, and not only that, it was 85 to 90-degree weather.
Oh my goodness.
So it was hot.
Yeah.
So, and also just to update you, we've had about 10 different cruise ships leaving here again out of our port. And so if you're unvaccinated, it's basically take a COVID test 2 days prior, show your COVID test, jump on the ship, and off you go. They segment you. If you've already had the COVID or if you had the vaccine, just show your vax card, hop on and leave. So there's been a lot of activity since, I would say, October 20th. So it's been about a good month, like really going.
That's
So very positive. Thank God.
Yes, it's really nice to see. And do you have any prospects starting to for 2022?
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
I've got an investment banking already.
Oh, great.
I've got a couple medical. So,
And they're
and
still looking positive and looking like they're definitely going to happen, because there's always question about cancellation, maybe a new wave coming up or anything.
yeah, but you have to understand we're in California. So California is not a cold weather city.
True.
So it's really different. This is where meetings happen January through June. San Francisco, Orange County, LA, San Diego, Phoenix, Vegas. That's a bulk of the meetings. But San Diego, like I've said before, is a huge medical pharma. We develop a lot of drugs here in La Jolla. And so this is a huge place where people want to have their meetings. I mean, it just goes without saying. And same with investment banking. And there's dollars to spend. And people want to be here. And it's not cold. Yesterday was 90 degrees. Today outside my window is 82 degrees. And on Thanksgiving, it's going to be 87 degrees here.
Wow. So you're dining outside is what you're saying.
No, inside, we have inside as well. Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is that cold weather is not going to induce people inside specifically. And we're also having Super Bowl here at SoFi in Los Angeles,
Oh, that's right. Oh, very cool. Yep.
which is the new stadium.
Yep.
So, you know, we've done a good job here in California. We were the most locked down besides New York, I think, and New Jersey. So our vax rate is super high.
Cool. Excellent. Cool.
Thank you all.
Thank you for sharing. That was really wonderful.
Yeah, it feels really good. I am blessed beyond.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I love hearing all of the positive talk about the future too. The jobs coming up and just being busy feels so good again.
the next time I'll report on Comic-Con on all the crazy outfits and all the crazy stuff that's happening this weekend. It's a mini version. It's a mini version, but our main version's in July, which is usually 130,000 packs all over the place.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
huge. Oh my goodness. How fun though. Yeah. Bring pictures.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Thanks. Awesome. Who else has been out on the road and would like to share some of their experiences?
Hi, this is Gay. How are you?
Great. How are you, Gay?
Good, thank you. My first job in 19 months was in Las Vegas in October, and I think we had 4,400 there, and we pretty much dominated 3 hotels plus the convention center, but it went really well. The Las Vegas rules were everyone wear masks inside, and everyone did that with no trouble. Everybody was excited. Like Cher said, everyone's excited to get started and moving forward. And so it was really fun. And I have 3 meetings scheduled for 2022, and it's the pharma industry. That's kind of my thing. And it's nice to see that they're moving forward with meetings as well.
That is really nice. Oh, cool. Thanks for sharing that. Where are you located, Gay?
I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida. Okay, so we've got both coasts that are coming alive.
Mhm.
That's
Absolutely.
really nice to see. Cool. Oh, instead of these little hot spots like we've been seeing, that's really nice. Awesome. And how long was your event? Did you say, Gay? I'm sorry.
7 days.
7 days. Okay, very good. And did you guys have to do like retesting throughout to no?
No, not at all.
Cool.
They had a testing center for the guests,
Okay.
but there was nothing that occurred afterward. It was smooth sailing.
That's great.
Oh, one thing.
Go for it.
One thing I did learn, I don't know, Gay, if you experienced this. So we had people coming from Canada. We had people from, El Salvador and Mexico, but the Canadians get burned with the United States rules, something that you guys should know about because this really is horrible. So they have to test before they come to the States. It was 20 Canadian dollars. On the way back, they have to test to go back. $160 for that same test out of the US to go to Canada.
Wow.
And they have to pay for it. Their companies will not pay for it.
Well, coming from Canada to the US, you can do just a regular rapid test. Going back to Canada, you need a PCR test. So the travel
That's what it was,
PCR
yeah.
test costs more money.
Right.
Yep. Thank you, Kim. Yep. That's what
Well,
it was.
in my experience with the Canadian TDs, the clients pay for the testing because those TDs are contracted on their programs.
Oh, okay. These were attendees. They weren't.
Oh, well, even with
TDs,
10Ds, because it was their meeting. So anyway, it probably.
Yeah,
maybe
but if it's a TD,
35.
that's really good too, that the client will pay for
Yeah.
it. Because that was a shock. Like the Canadians were not happy with that.
I wouldn't be either. That is a huge shock. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Cher. It's
So, okay. Anyway, I'm sorry to take up time.
no worries. Gay, what else can you share with us?
Well, that's it. I'm just waiting for more dates to be taken with meetings. So I think 2022 will be our year. I thought 2021 would be, but everything is loosening up. And when pharma loosens up and they have in-person meetings, we know it's a go. So
Awesome. And that's such a great sign. I love hearing that. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing,
You're
Gay.
welcome.
Excellent. Anyone else that would like to share with us?
Yeah, I'll just add with the pharma meetings, because I've been working on a few permanent searches for the pharma industry. And they were always an indicator to me when things were coming back. When they started tightening up their belts, I always would tell the whole family, okay, we're cutting back. Because if the pharma industry or the financial industry cut back, and they get trends before we do, then we know something's up. And now I'm finding financial and pharma opening up on the permanent side. So with that, they'll be opening up on the independent contractor side also.
Excellent. Thank you for that insight, Don.
Anytime.
Yeah, with that experience, I mean, it's nice and hearing what Gay and Cher have been saying, especially with pharma, that's definitely a good thing to hear. I see a question in our chat. Is anyone doing any government conferences? Are they on hold? Anyone moving forward with them?
If I can comment on that.
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Well, mine is not in person. Is this an exclusively in-person conversation?
No.
No,
Okay.
hybrid.
Yeah. So I just finished September conference. There are a whole series of other ones going on in October and November, but they're all online. The main thing is the most government isn't back to work officially until January. And then obviously the Biden administration may be changing that department by department. So the State Department, for instance, is going to be going back. They're initially coming back on a rotating basis. Starting in January. Therefore, a lot of employees are not required to go into the office. They're not required to go physically to conferences. So there has to be a hybrid option where they can watch remotely. Otherwise, attendance will be low. We've had a lot of trouble with, I was working for Government Exec, GovExec, which is a publication, and they were doing a ton of they are doing a ton of events. And the attendance had been hit or miss. We've been finding that email marketing they began to bludgeon their lists. I think their plan was bludgeon the list as hard as it can, and maybe we can get enough attendance. So you get a reg list that was big enough, but attendance live on the day was difficult. Sponsors were not always thrilled about the interactivity. And I'm talking like 20 different conferences I did. Then there was a one-day, half-day conference in September we did around state and local government. So for anybody doing state and local government, we had real challenges reaching state and local leaders to attend. We did just fine getting them to speak, but the getting them to attend part was hard. And getting them to do a dry run prep call was nearly impossible. Try to get the commissioner of Tennessee on a dry run prep call. I mean, honestly, you're sitting there talking with her assistant, and her assistant's like, "What do I tell her? I don't get it." So after all this time, I was a little surprised how the chain of communication to the final speaker was hard to do when it came to a tech run through. This included explaining something as simple as get yourself disconnected from the government firewall. I cannot record a decent session with you. And they were like, well, it always works. I'm like, no. So,
but they know best, don't they?
Well, they do know best, and I don't. So I don't know how many of these I have to record before I'm like, no. I trust me. You're going to look like hell. And if you're okay with that, and then they're like, why do I look like hell? And, well, I think that's a little choppy, don't you? And I'm like, like as if I'm like some sort of like tech whiz on their end, when basically we saw time and again, government speakers having a very difficult time recording a decent session. Government attendees would complain in the chat a lot. And so we would have to go through this kind of cut and paste. Here's what you do. Cut and stop, do this. I learned more about the F key and the Command R key than I could ever remember.
Excellent. Matthew, where are you calling in from these days?
Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. But we're, there was a real emphasis that they had bought a state and local brand. So we were really trying to get people from all over. So I was hearing earlier about California. We were doing a whole piece on autonomy at sea. So autonomous vehicles at sea. And so there's a big NAVC operation out of San Diego, Old Town San Diego. Yep. And so we needed to be able to get people speaking about this stuff. And getting them out of their silo is so hard. But we did it. We did it during a pandemic. It's not like there's anyone picking up the phone. So it all had to be like phone calls to PR people in the hopes that they get back to us. It was an interesting challenge.
Do you
But
think it was
worked. It
a
worked.
time difference thing?
I
If
don't
you're
think
doing
so.
national,
They work so early in San Diego. I mean, that nav CP, those people were like,
Yeah.
it's 7 o'clock. Can we do a 9 a.m. one? I'm like, my 9 a.m.? That's 6 a.m. for you. And they were really right on it. You know, God bless our U.S. military. Boy, those people show up.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
ask away anything about audience. So we did a few private dinners too. Well, private C-suite phone gatherings just like this, where there's 9 people on the call and you see 9 headshots. And those were really lucrative. And they really want to reach those C-suite people in government right now. So if you're doing, or you're thinking of talking about with a client of yours, if you're thinking about what could we do that would be a higher touch, it does work, but you have to be aware of, I can tell you all sorts of detail if you have any questions.
Excellent. Thank you for offering and thank you for sharing all of that. That's
Hope that
wonderful.
wasn't too much. Yeah.
No, that was really great. Thank you so much. Cool. Anyone else want to share, or anyone else doing government conferences or have insights on?
I have a question because it brought up both the virtual meeting and the on-site meeting. How many of you who've been working on site have seen a hybrid model where they're having the live meeting, but also sending it out through the internet?
Yeah. They're live streaming at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which means that there'll be a need in the future for both skill sets.
But they're live streaming, so it depends, like they're live streaming, so sometimes if they don't want to come down from their rooms, if they're there, they can watch something from their hotel room. If, you know, they're not a breakfast person and they're working out and there's some type of meeting going on. But also there's a company that records a lot of the sessions. So when you're on site, you have sessions that are not recorded per contract agreements with the speakers, and then some that are. And then what happens is they're given, so if they buy like an exclusive badge for 4 days, if they go for all 4 days of the meeting or 5 days, then they have access for 30 days to watch everything online, the content that they want. So if there's 2 simultaneous breakouts going on, they go to the one on site that's not being recorded. If it says, and it will say in their conference app, and then one that is, and then that's offered up for 30 days, but also they can get the jump drive so that they can train or do whatever they need to do for other people in the office, because they're not sending everybody. And that's for a fee.
Great. Anyone else want to share? You don't have to turn your camera on if you don't want to. We would just love to hear your insights.
Kate, if I could say something real quick, the biggest things that I've seen is, like always, we just have to be adaptable. We are visiting somebody else's house and they're under major protocol. So we have to go, even to the point in Hawaii, the bananas are wrapped. You know, just like that. And that's fine. You want to wrap them, that's great, but just be adaptable. And it's just the same, but it's different. And they're under a lot of stress. And they're also, you know, the help situation too. They just don't have the people they used to.
Right.
And you may not quite get the service that we would like all the time. But just, you know, you go with the flow and you just make it adaptable for you. And then, of course, for your client and whatever the client wants. And I would suggest, even though I've been boosted and everything, and everybody mostly has, is still mask up. There's a lot of other things out there. And as long as we're doing it, that's just my opinion. But some people are and some people aren't, especially when they get into closed rooms, then they all take the mask off and hold their meeting and then go back out. So.
Interesting. Mike, where are you located in the country?
Jacksonville, Florida.
All right, very good. So you don't have to deal with cold, wintry mess weather for future months. That's pretty nice.
What I say is I get the Chicago cold here. It's the cold to the bone,
Yes.
wet cold, as opposed to where I was in Utah. Different cold, but here it's a wet cold.
That's dry.
And you know in Chicago what I'm talking about. It's
Yes, I do. You don't have our snow, but I do know that bitter cold. We've got some of it today,
Exactly.
actually. But
Exactly.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Mike. That's I totally agree. I mean, adaptability is the name of the game. So you're spot on, in my opinion. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyone else would like to share? Yeah, go for it. Kim.
I would say there have been issues that we've had on programs with everybody's vaccinated and they've had breakthrough. So just because obviously you're vaccinated, you can still get the virus. And if someone's paying millions of dollars, they want to ensure that this could go on, their program's going to go on as planned. No, there's no interruption. You can't, pull people off a bus that are going to a dinner because someone had a breakthrough case, which that has happened. So, Simon. So anyway, so yeah, just everybody and the clients and everybody is just really trying to make things go as smoothly and whatever needs to be done to make sure that everybody can get the full experience on site, whether it's masks all the time, unless you're outside, or have to be fully vaxxed. And so we have more that are like fully vaxxed and you're going to be tested before you go on site because they do have breakthrough. So just really, trying to protect the dollar and the experience for everybody. So, and I could probably going forward that it will still happen and maybe even more. So.
Oh, that reminds me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that reminds me, thanks Kim for saying that, because when we had to go on site for the really big conventions, so before we used in-house physicians, everybody had to upload their vax. And then the in-house physicians, I guess, probably cross-checked that with the CDC, because then it came back and said, you're great, you're good to go. Then when you got on site at registration, before you even got your credentials, there was a whole nother booth that you had to go first, that you had to show the in-house physicians or the check mark that said you're good. And then they gave you a wristband and you could not take that wristband off for the entire time you were there. And I said, shower with it. And they're like, yes, yes. So that was that. And then you went and got your credentials. So yes, Kim, that was really helpful too, because we had that. And also, they also made you extensively sign these waivers. Woof. There was 3-page waivers. Also that if you come on site, even if you're vaxxed, realize that you could have a breakthrough and you're not going to sue us, la, la, la. So it was a very long, and I actually saved that just so I would have that. So I kind of know how they're writing these things to compare industries or different conventions.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
Great. Thank you again, Cher. Anyone else want to share anything, or anyone have any questions? And we can open it up to questions at this time as well. Questions about being on the road, about the platform, about meeting jobs, about if you're shy, you can put it in the chat. Gay, I think I saw your lips moving saying I have a question, but I think you're, there we go. Go for it.
I have a question. So we receive, the TDs receive emails from Cadre saying there's a new post, go in and look. And so I've written once, and I'm wondering, I don't know if you all are aware of this, but when the posting comes out, you have to sign in, get in it, check for new post, and you have to go through and open each one, which is not a problem, but it's disheartening to open so many that are local only. And so I put a pass on that. request or question is there any way when you post the locals that we can say local to Florida or New York or, whatever? It just saves a lot of time. I think one day there were 15 posts for jobs. So, I mean, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most are local. So.
Sure. Yeah, that is a great question and one that we get quite a bit and something that we are working with our tech team on. So it's coming down the road. At the moment, the ones that are, just so that you all know, the ones that show up that say local only in the title are because they're adding it to the title of their job posting. So those are wonderful clients. Those are great clients. We applaud those. But it comes down to how the client their information. So,
and it makes sense. I mean, if I'm in Florida and there's a Florida meeting, it makes sense that you want a local person. So,
especially if it's just for a day or a couple of hours. I mean, for those few hours, having someone local is perfect. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Is it possible Oh, I'm sorry, Gay.
Go for it.
Is it possible that I'm just not on the right email list? I've seen two in the past 2 weeks for job announcements. So is that maybe a settings issue? I'm not seeing many jobs at all come through Cadre. Part of the reason I came today was to ask about that. So thank you for whoever brought that up about the number that they're actually getting, because I'm not getting that many. In fact, I'm not even being alerted about that many. And I feel like I'm in Washington. We do a lot of event work here.
Yeah.
So many associations, and I'm not hearing anything from Cadre.
And I know I've seen a few in your area recently. So if you're not getting those, that's especially interesting. But my guess is, Matthew, that in your expertise area, you can choose to be
So it's the expertise. Okay.
Planner, or you can be both. If it sounds,
both, so I'll see more.
I mean, if you do both, you'll get everything, right?
Mm-hmm,
But if you have just one, and maybe, event staff is where a lot of the activity is happening. We have had quite a few planner positions posted recently, and I'm guessing that that's what you're seeing. So in the expertise area, in your left-hand column, that would be where you want both of them blue if you want both of them selected. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great info.
Sure. Great question too. I know it's one that we get in our support desk from time to time. I see what comes through there. So what other questions can we help answer? And if y'all are going to be quiet, we can go about our day. I know everyone's busy, if nothing else.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Are y'all staffing the merits programs?
We are. Kim, you can go ahead and would you like to address that one? Simon's in the way at the moment.
Sorry.
So
He's chasing the leaves through the window, so it should be his nap time, but it's not. I apologize. So we still have all of our same clients as normal. Our managed clients have specific people that they want to use on their program. So we reach out to see if you're available, and then we put those in Cadre. But we still have the same clients, same, not as much volume for things as they were before, depending if it's some are pharma or whatnot, if some are more diversified areas. But we're staffing and things are getting busier. I think I was reading someplace that like for business travel, plus the events will be like 2024 to really be back to the level of 2019, which started off gangbusters.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm looking forward to this next year is staffing programs and actually have the pass through of executing them and not cancel. So whereas we had like a lot of business for the fall, and then with the new Delta variant, like we still have business, but things canceled, so we don't have the volume that we had before. So that's what I'm just thinking positive, that the execution will be, there's always things that happen. People have to, even in the old days before COVID, that they had to cancel for some reason, or their change months or whatnot. But I'm just looking forward to having a more positive execution rate for programs. So, and a lot more last minute, maybe in the next like month or two. I've noticed some pharma that we've been having have been like in like the 2-month time frame, just because they're slow to pull the trigger. And I think a lot of them before were hit with cancellations because they had a lot of pharma things going on before COVID. So, you know, they just want to make sure that they're not wasting those dollars with any cancellation fees with hotels and all that kind of good stuff. So, but keep my fingers crossed and thinking positive and slowly but surely chugging away out there. So,
Can you share any word on Edward Jones Summer Regionals?
not yet.
Not yet.
Don't have any.
Cautious.
I mean, it should be positive, but I don't have anything yet. So when I do, y'all will know.
We will be sure to send that email out to you all. So, all right. Well, thank
Absolutely. As soon as we know, because that things aren't the, 6 months ahead of time doing things. Maybe some, I should not say that, because some industries are, where some people are already like booked out further in advance, but not as much as prior years. So.
Cool. Excellent. What other questions can we answer?
Oh, one thing I was going to say too,
Go for it.
I've noticed, and you guys have probably noticed this too, with the airlines. It's like, oh, I always fly Delta. Well, Delta might not have those flights, or it might cost a lot of money to do this. So there's been more TDs either choosing to pay extra because they want to fly above and beyond what like the budget is, because they want to stay on a specific airline, or, okay, yes, I'll be flying with this airline. So just have like your mileage programs for any airline. So that's been hopefully it'll be getting better next year, but that's been like an issue, especially for like Hawaii and things like that, which the flights were cut down and more people now are going, and just, with the holidays and all that stuff. So.
Great. Thank you for the tips. No one's jumping in, so I'm going to pass a question over to Erin, who does a lot of the expense report checking. I know there was a question about mileage that you received earlier today. Could you quickly address that and just let us know best practice for entering mileage?
Yes, Cadre does not enter mileage as round trip. So there has to be two mileage expenses entered, one for going and one from coming back.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
There was a little bit of confusion around that.
Yeah. All right. So good. Excellent. So just make sure that you have your round trip mileage in there. Excellent. And you guys have recently, since the last town hall, started doing text alerts to people. How has that been going?
Amazing.
Oh, good.
It's been great. Yeah. Yeah. There's not as much reaching out multiple times through email, or, having Kim or Ashley reach out to you. Everybody has been very responsive, and that's been great.
Excellent. Oh, good. I love hearing that. I love hearing that it's going so well, because it's such a great idea, I thought. So excellent. Cool. Any other questions we can answer for people?
Can I add something? Kate and I were on a call the other day with a client, and they talked about how much they enjoyed seeing the video that you can put on your Cadre account, that they really like that part of it. So the clients are noticing that, and they're also noticing when you bid for a job that you specify your skill sets and why you're good for that job. So if you're a pharma expert, to say, I do pharma meetings, if you were a virtual planner, I do virtual meetings, and that is what's going to get you more jobs. And we're just having clients start talking about that, and that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, that's very true. Really
add that.
Very good point. to give you all just a few pointers, if you all are feeling a little hesitant about doing videos, just so you know, I'm sure you all have seen some of our how-to videos, and my lovely voice has filled your ears quite a bit. Let me tell you, it takes many takes to get those. I don't get it right the first time, ever. My husband can attest to it. So don't be afraid. Take a few times. I've got a nice little smartphone. I'm sure the rest of you.
I've been dying to do this. So does anybody have any hot tips about how to do it and not just annoy yourself? Like, oh God, I want to do it so I don't hate my video, you know? Like, I'm the same with photographing. I hate taking photographs of myself.
Don't look at it afterwards and just assume it's fine.
Just put it up. Just look away.
Make sure nobody's using the bathroom next to the room that you're, you know.
Exactly.
Like that happened to me.
Exactly.
I had to tape something, and all of a sudden, I swear, the whole entire neighborhood was using the bathroom off of my office. You know, so just go for it.
I feel like you need to kind of schedule something like that to shot, like was it Kimberly? Was it you who had the cat that just shot across the screen in the middle of while you were talking? You got to do it. Like, I'm thinking, how do you capture imagination of somebody at the beginning of your video? You just have this cat fly across your screen.
You know, sometimes that's what makes you special. That's what people go, that person's a real person and not just a staged thing. So be real.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to ring that bell. One of the biggest things that I was having a conversation with a guy who ended up not hiring me as a client. And I don't think it had anything to do with me. It had to do with his work didn't need someone with my skills. He's like, I don't really need that. But one of the things he said is, don't underestimate that people, your own personality, and that they might want to just work with you. They're great. Many people are assuming you've got the skill set because you're already at Cadre. So my gut tells me, they're like, if you're here, we assume you already know what the hell you're doing. So more of it has to do with, is your personality the one that I can work with? So some of it may be simply a personality match because you'll be working with them for months or weeks. I mean, hopefully months.
Exactly right. You've really hit the nail on the head there. And that's why the video is so important, because you can look at a sheet of paper, you can look at a virtual profile for someone, and it's just words and a picture, right? Like, I can create one, it can be anyone, right? But until you've got the video and you have that personality and you have the person sitting there going, hi, I'm Matthew and I am a Cadre freelancer and I've been doing this for the past 20 years and I got started by doing blah, 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 and I do this and I do this. And my suggestion for what I do to make myself more comfortable, I write a script for myself. I don't always stick to my script, but I write a script. And even if it's just a 30-second blip about me, especially when I have to do stuff about me, because I am so uncomfortable about that, I write a script and I run it through several times without a video. I run it through a couple times with a video. And I hope that one of those couple times with a video is actually good enough. So that's part of my suggestion as well. But when I have a script, I'm able to let my personality shine a bit more because I can kind of riff off of it. So that's my suggestion.
That's good.
Thanks.
So, Kate, I have a question.
Go for it.
So now there's the new Zoom option for clients that want to hire. So kind of tell us how that works.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. That is brand new. It came out 2 weeks ago. And when a client initiates that interview with you, you've sent your offer in, you've written your pitch. I am a pharma pro with 20 years experience. I'm your person. Client can click a reply button. And in that reply, they start that conversation saying, hey, Kate, are you free on Wednesday at 2 for a quick conversation about that pharma experience? And if I say, yeah, I am, or whatever, from there, we can quickly schedule a Zoom interview. You'll be sent a link. I'll be sent a link, log in, have that conversation, but one less barrier for clients in contracting people. So especially when it comes to a client that you may not know, this is a great way for them to schedule that meeting and get that face-to-face time. So in addition to a video that you can add to your profile, there's also now the ability to Zoom with a client.
And then I'm going to add, when you Zoom, because I'm going through this every day with full-time interviews.
Mhm.
This is the time to shine, but it's also the time to look your best.
Yeah.
So make sure you have a great background. Make sure you, if you wear makeup, to wear makeup. If your hair is done, you have a good presentation during the Zoom interview. If you're on site, if you're working during it, make sure that you're not interrupted. You're not doing this Zoom interview while you're at a registration desk or something like that. Also remember that aspect. But this is your time to be professional and shine.
Absolutely. And I know that there's a lot of downside to virtual. I'll get you in just a second, Cher. But for me, I do love doing interviews virtually because I get a glimpse of who you are as a person, outside of the office, essentially, where I would normally interview someone. So that's another thing just to keep in mind, is it's a great way to show your personality that way too. So Cher, you had something you wanted to add along. You're muted, my dear. There you go.
How long would you like the video? Is it 20 seconds, 30 seconds? Do you guys have a recommendation?
I think that that's the perfect length, 20 to 30 seconds.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything longer than that. We don't need, first of all, it won't load very well. It'll take forever. But like Matthew was saying, it's really just a great way to get your personality and to show that you are a real human being. So yeah, that would be my suggestion. 30 seconds at most. If you're at 35, it's not the end of the world. Awesome. These are really great points. We've got about 14 minutes left before I kick you off to do more Thanksgiving prep. What other questions can I help answer for everyone? Cool. Sounds like we're in a good state. Sounds like we've got a lot of positive forward thinking for the upcoming months, which is great, especially with winter being upon us. Having positive thoughts or having something to look forward to is really wonderful. I'm going to take the last few moments. Kim, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah. Just say, you sent out a link, was it like a week or so ago, that goes to our YouTube site? Or no, to the knowledge database?
Sure, we can get those. Yeah.
That will answer. I got a lot of questions people have had for things, and it's like, if you go to our knowledge database, which the information was sent out, that should have answers to all your questions. If it doesn't, let us know what the question is, because then we'll put the answer in there, and the knowledge database will just keep growing to hopefully cover all of the questions everybody will have.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great point. And we also have that YouTube channel with a growing list of how-to videos on there as well. And again, if there's something that you're not sure how to do, let us know. Our support desk is pretty great. The people over there, again, that's support@hirecadre.com. For those that don't know,
I have another question.
Go for it.
Also, when they log into their profile and there's different videos, will those be switching up, or are you going to be adding to those, or will there be a link to go to other videos, or how is that going to work?
All of it. Yes. That's a great question. All of it. So sort of depending on what you need to focus on will determine the videos that show up there. So if you've got a whole bunch of expenses that you need to work on, expense videos should start showing up in there. If you're just starting out, how to complete your profile, that sort of stuff will show up in there. And we're adding videos all the time. I actually added a couple yesterday. So adding all the time. If you want, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can stay up to date.
Mhm.
Let me get that over that address for everyone. Give me just a moment. While I
Can you pop that in the chat, maybe?
Yes.
Oh, there it is. I see you doing it now. Thanks.
Sure. Perfect.
When the event
I think you've all seen the video and don't need to see it again, but here is the link for our YouTube channel. That way you can bookmark it, subscribe, become a fan, all that good stuff. But like I said, we keep updating it pretty regularly. Like I said, I added a couple yesterday. So yeah, that's a great one to bookmark. What types of comments should you talk about in your video? Oh, that's a great question. Stacy in our chat here asked a question about what sort of things should you talk about in your video. I recommend giving a brief rundown of your history, your background, a brief synopsis of your resume, so to speak, that type of information will be a lot more informative than I'm a really nice person and I work really hard and I'm an intelligent, organized human being, because we should be able to pick up on that based on your presentation and your video. So give details like, I started in 2012 with Convention Connection in March when I was in Chicago, and you can get into all those specifics there. But again, keep it short. You don't need to get into tons of details because there is that Zoom interview option. Awesome. Dawn, do you have any other insights on video, on things to add into your video?
Hold on. I just show your personality, smile a lot. If you smile when you videotape, it comes across in your personality. It comes across in the presentation. So smile a lot. But yeah, I would go into, if you have a specialty, why you like it.
Yeah.
Why you like this industry, why you like this job. This video shows who you are as a person. And, as we said before, your profile will show your expertise that you're a fit. But the true fit is this person going to fit in with the rest of the group in the convention or the conference that we're holding? So do that with your personality. Just show it.
Perfect. Excellent. Thanks, Dawn. That's wonderful advice, of course. What other questions can we answer? Those were great questions, Kim. What else can we do? Great question, Stacy, too. All right, cool. Well, let's bookmark and become channel subscribers to YouTube so that we become better pros at Cadre.
Our next meeting, don't forget to talk about our next one.
Oh, good call. Yeah, our next town hall is December 14th, Tuesday, same time. You'll be receiving an email with that link to register for that. So we hope to see you there. It'll be right before all of the holidays in December. So that'll be nice to kick off the new year with everyone. So we hope that you will join us for that. We also have some, what are they called? The 30-minute Mondays with MPI, some chats coming up with them. We've got a couple freelancers that are doing a 30-minute Monday this upcoming Monday.
Will you be emailing that out, Kate? That information out?
I can. I think we've got it somewhere sent out to everyone, but yeah, we can definitely get that out to people. So I hope y'all will join us for all of that. Any other questions? You know how to get a hold of us. support@hirecadre.com. Everyone have a safe, wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you all in a month on December 20th.
Bye, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.